Hey guys, I'm back. It's Joe Cadet. It's the corner store, and I always say I have a fun episode for you guys today, and I actually do it this time. Today and tomorrow, or whenever you're watching this, Wrestlemania is here. Yes, Gerald. Yes, Gerald. Yes, Gerald. Yes, I know you guys are asking, hey, this is supposed to be a sports podcast. What the hell are you talking about freaking wrestling for? Well, like, wrestling has a special place in my heart in terms of, like, I guess the crucial years going into, like, the preteen years. That's what, like, was me. Like, I'm a wrestling nerd. Almost any fact of wrestling, I know a lot. My brothers and I, we love wrestling. We always got the action figures. We always made sure that we wasn't doing anything from 8 to 10 on Thursdays and Fridays, or not. We try to sneak in an hour of watching Raw. And then when ECW was on Sci-Fi, we used to do that too. Things have changed, you know. I'm not going to say the product is that bad. But the product, like, you outgrow products, you know? You outgrow products. Me, I outgrew it since about I want to say 2011, 2010. I still, like, go back in to, you know, watch. The reason being why I'm making this episode. I go back in to watch here and there. I still enjoy the content, but not as much as I did when I was younger. Like I said, you grow out of it. Like, what's in style now wasn't what was in style back in what to me, the years that I was really into WWE was between maybe 05, 04, 05, all the way to like maybe 2011. That was when I was in. I guess a lot of people for some reason always had this problem, which I don't really understand why. A lot of people always tell me that, or like whenever I talked about like I love wrestling or this and that, they used to be like, oh, once it once I found out it was fake, I got rid of I stopped watching it. I felt like it was even better when I realized it was fake, because like you understood like the characters more. You understood like why they did this, the whys and everything. You understood it more when you realize it was fake. But I don't want to say it's fake. It's choreographed. I like that word, because the things that these guys do, you're on the road for 360 days of the year. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating, but like maybe 350 of the year, doing shows and shows and shows. Like that's tough, man. That's tough. And then even back in the day, back in the 90s, you had to get your own car. You had to get your own this and that. And to hear some of the wrestlers' stories about things that they did, like, these guys wouldn't sleep. They have to, like, go get up, gym, do side eats, do all that stuff. And then you guys thought that all that shit is just fake. Like, they didn't work for what they were, like, doing. Like, and then injuries happen. Injuries happen. Like Stone Cold, his accident with Owen Hart, that tragedy. Draws, that tragedy. Like, all that stuff, like, just like that. It's crazy. But I'm going to focus on wrestling right now. The reason why I want to focus on wrestling right now is because I enjoy the story building and the development of characters. And the WWE, and I think it's because of society. This is my personal opinion on that. I think it's because of society. WWE has been the worst they have ever been when it comes to character building. But the thing is, there's certain characters that they have right now that's like perfect characters. And the way that they developed it, it was like, how come you ended up with that person? I'll give you guys an example. Ricochet. guy, he had a lot of momentum coming in because I was at WrestleMania 35. We are still the last full crowd for WrestleMania. I'm gonna put that out there. Anyways, Ricochet had a nice buzz. Had a nice buzz. He was doing his thing, all that stuff. And then after that, he just brought him out to lose. This is the perfect example because Ricochet, he just popped up in my head. But this is the perfect example that I've like been watching for like the past 3-4 years now. Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman, the monster among men, all that stuff. He's a freak in the gym. Like if you see him on Instagram, you see like he's crazy. But Braun Strowman, that man was supposed to be a killer. Like, I don't want to say undefeated, but like he was supposed to be someone that you really couldn't, like when you see him, you're like, ah, shit's about to happen. Excuse my language, kids. the sugar honey iced tea is about to hit the fan, for real, for real. He was beating up cats left and right, throwing guys out the bar, all that stuff. And then he goes to meet Brock Lesnar. Understandably so is Brock Lesnar, and Roman Reigns. But a guy that you're trying to push to the moon like that, you can't let them lose to those people. At least at that particular instant. And this is the thing. This is the thing I don't understand. You could have them, like Braun Strowman, the first time he faced Brock Lesnar, the first time he faced Roman Reigns. You could have them, I guess I want to say, you could have them like have a singles match at a pay-per-view or whatnot. And make it become a non-title match if you guys don't think he's ready for it. And then let's say he loses, but he loses off of interference. He loses off a low blow, or something like a DQ, something like that. That keeps him strong. That's like, damn, you needed all that stuff to do. That's what they were doing with Brock Lesnar. You needed to freaking do 6 coup de grace, 7 pedigrees, all that stuff, with a chair shot to take out Brock Lesnar. How come we can't do that with Braun Strowman? And then now Braun Strowman is like a fun-loving, like I was watching one of his, was it last week or maybe 2 weeks ago? He had a promo. He's facing Shane at WrestleMania, Shane McMahon. He had a promo and then he's talking and he's like, it's not what he said. It's just, you're looking at the guy and you're like, man, you could have been like a beast. But the WWE just let you down. That's basically what it is. So many other superstars. Bray Wyatt is another one. His first character is awesome. His character now, because he's so good, him himself, not the writers and all that. Him himself, he's good at characterization, like formulating the character. He's been able to stay afloat. Like I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I haven't been following the Fire Funhouse, but him and Alexa Bliss, the Randy Orton saga, him coming back burnt because he was burnt in the Inferno match. That's intriguing to me. That is like, okay, like the Fiend right now, he could do his thing. But then you had the Fiend was the most popular superstar going into Hell in a Cell 2 years ago. Just for him to lose to Seth Rollins? Come on, Vince. You know that was a bad idea. You know that was a bad decision. You could have like before the entrance came on, be like, hey, I need to switch the finish. Bray, you're gonna win. Or prolong it. But like I said, the reason why I said it could be a society thing, we want things like this now. We want things like this. Like the biggest example is music. One artist puts out an album, and 3 weeks later, people want another album from the artist. Little Uzi is the biggest example of that. This man put out three projects last year. People want another project from him. Come on, man. Enjoy the 3 projects now. But I think that's the same thing with just the world. We want everything now, like because everything's accessible nowadays. Where you have the internet, That's the biggest. Can't think of the word, but that's the biggest thing out there to like be able to access. You want to binge watch shows. You want to do all that. I'm not gonna lie, I'm victim of that too. I'm waiting for the 4 seasons of Snowfall to be finished so I can binge watch it on Hulu. It'd be like that. It's the way society is. But however, there's some drawbacks to that. I'll stick on the Snowfall example. So the thing with Snowfall, I'm waiting for the season to finish so I can watch the season in its entirety, for just to like when I binge watch it. So I watch the first episode, I see something shocking happen, I'm like, oh, damn, I don't have to wait for the second episode. I do that. But sometimes you have to wait. You have to be patient. A cliffhanger happens, you gotta be like, oh my God, I need to tune in. And things like WWE, they need that. They need that. And that also deals with the characterization. That's why I love my favorite character. And this is, if I was talking to myself in 2017, 2016, I would have been like, Gerald, you're crazy. But my favorite superstar right now in WWE is Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, he's just like a guy that you always want to see what he's going to do. Like, literally, I'm on YouTube just watching his clips of what he's doing, his mannerisms. He doesn't have to say nothing. Just go out, just come there and just look. His look is just like amazing. But that's the character building. He's been doing this since he had a promo the other day. He's been doing this since August 23rd. 300 consecutive days. He's been that guy. And in the way that his heel character, he's a heel right now. At first he was a babyface. They tried to push him as a babyface. We all knew that wasn't going to work because it's like you're forcing it down our throats. We don't want that. But him as his heel character and the gradual storytelling, and then him, we always knew he was gonna get the belt when he came back. We always knew that. But the way, and then him as Paul Heyman, they literally made the opposite of Brock Lesnar in Roman Reigns. The opposite of Brock Lesnar. That's why I find it so intriguing, because you understanding the whole Paul Heyman factor. The reason why Paul Heyman is so important to this story is that Paul Heyman was the mic guy. He was the guy that whenever Brock needed a big hype promo, Paul Heyman's there. But now you have someone who's a good talker in Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns is not a mic guy. And like Paul Heyman just puts his 2 cents in, the way Brock Lesnar used to put his 2 cents in. And then Jey Uso, his stuff is hilarious. His stuff that's insider stuff, I guess, but his stuff is hilarious. I'm gonna get a moose. But Roman Reigns, you believe what he's saying, because like now it's like he's not pandering to the crowd anymore. He's just doing himself. And even like now the WWE also what's hurting the product, I believe, is like now because of the easy access, because of the cameras everywhere, because of people like wrestlers are humans too, and they want to enjoy Instagram. They want to like show out their life, all that stuff. It's not like Undertaker. That's my favorite superstar of all time. Undertaker. He said it like this: back in the day, you didn't have that much accessibility. I'm paraphrasing what he says, but back in the day, you didn't have that much accessibility, and then it was the land of the law in WWE, in wrestling, not even WWE, like in the territories and all that stuff. You had to protect your character. That was your biggest thing. You can't be thinking that you can't be a dead character. I'm using Undertaker's character, for example. You can't be a dead character and then trying to act like Ric Flair. You know, like party and all that stuff. Ric Flair could get away with that because Ric Flair, his character is like he was partying, having as many women as possible, pouring champagne everywhere, like flying jets, all that stuff. That's why Ric Flair is the man. He is the man. But nowadays, you're gonna have someone like Bray Wyatt, who he's a Fiend. He's doing the hurt or hate or love thing on his glove, but then you can see him with his kid. Like, examples like those, it's good, but then like he's still able to protect the character, if that makes any type of sense. However, you still like in the back of your mind, like, this is just, like if you dwell on it. Like, that's why I make sure I don't when it comes to like Bray Wyatt, I keep saying Bray Wyatt, but Bray Wyatt, his character isn't a character that's supposed to be like that. You know, that makes sense. Bray Wyatt, not Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman, his character is, I mean, now since he's laxed the character, like he's tried to make the character more human, you could see, like, you could understand why he puts those stuff out on Instagram. But it's still him. Like it's him, but you could see that it's a different character. Like that's why his character's not really that believable anymore. That's just me. So now we have WrestleMania. Whenever it's WrestleMania season, I get excited. Like, I know, like, my body knows it's WrestleMania season, because once the Royal Rumble started, I want to watch wrestling. I want to watch it now, here and now. Like I said, I enjoy the product, but am I invested in the product? No, I'm not. And it's not any fault of WWE. It's just that the wrestlers I grew up admiring, they're all gone. And I really can't dig the characters now, because everything is like this. And, like, the payoffs are so trash to me that it just doesn't make sense. Like the triple threat match between Roman Reigns, Edge, and Daniel Bryan. I think Daniel Bryan, storytelling wise, I think Daniel Bryan deserves to win that match. Because he got eliminated from Edge at the Royal Rumble. Yes, he lost to Roman Reigns twice. Yes, one of those times was after a grueling 40-minute Elimination Chamber match. And then another time was because Edge interfered, basically, to hit him with a chair shot after he made Roman Reigns tap out. But it all makes sense to make him win the belt. But if you think in WWE's mind, it's either going to be Edge or Roman Reigns. And probably they made a triple threat match to make sure that either Roman Reigns or Edge doesn't get pinned to keep the character. I think more so Roman doesn't get pinned or submit, and Edge could take the fall, because Edge, he's established. Like, you don't want the head of the table to do that, because, like, it messes up the character. Which, and personally, I don't think so. And then I go back to my boy, the Undertaker. He says that in the Joe Rogan podcast. Now in WWE, losing messes you up. However, some of the best matches of all time, some of the best characters, they've had a boost from losing. The number one example everybody goes to is Austin versus Bret Hart, WrestleMania 13. Austin lost to Bret Hart, but if you didn't know that, you'll say, oh, Austin beat Bret Hart. Because of the reaction. But, like, the character building, the storytelling was so beautiful that, and then the double turn happened. It was so beautiful that you, like, really believe that, hey, Austin he's up next. He's up next. In WWE, nowadays you don't see that no more. Like, another example is like the whole Seth Rollins thing. Like, it could work. But then, like, you just look at it, he's like, this guy just had a baby, and now he's like he's talking like a messiah again. Like, I don't know. That's just me. That's just how I feel about WWE. WrestleMania's coming up. I had to just put this out there because WrestleMania, like, I love WrestleMania season. I will always love WrestleMania season. Like, as I said, I haven't been following the product the way I used to. But whenever I know it's WrestleMania time, whenever January, like, let's say around Martin Luther King Day comes around, I start tuning in. I'm like, okay, what's going on? What's happening? Who's coming out? Which, I mean, now it's been different because the past 2 years, because of COVID. Oh, my bad, YouTube. Because of the panoramic. It's been a little diluted in terms of, like, you could do a lot, but you can't do a lot. Like the Bad Bunny thing, I love how the WWE is bringing Bad Bunny in there, but you can't go overboard. You can't bring in The Rock. You can't bring in this and that. Like, because it's like, I don't know. I don't know their, like, the backstory, but their, like, restrictions and all that stuff. I don't know that. But it is what it is. I'm going to enjoy the product. It's on Peacock. This is not no freaking paid sponsorship. I just had to say that. Speaking about this paid sponsorship, Peacock, man, you guys at least give me a $5,000 check, you know? Just because I shouted you out. I don't know. Anyways, just to keep on the topic of wrestling, I was gonna say this for another video, but I might as well just bring it up since I've been talking about him a lot. But The Undertaker, my boy retired back in November. 30 years in the business. Basically, he was the last man standing when it comes to that. And I just want to say, and then I've been following him. I'm like, it's kind of weird. It's like, instead of like trying to find the answers for him, because he kept his character so beautifully alive for this long. Because me personally, I don't think that character could live in today's WWE. Like I said, because you have so much access to people. Like even Undertaker, the first time I saw Undertaker on like social media, like it wasn't even his social media. It was like it's Michelle McCool, his wife's social media. I was a little like, I don't want to see my Undertaker like that. But the thing is, when I was younger, I was like, I need to see Undertaker outside. I need to see Undertaker this and that. So it's fun. I know it's weird for him. He said that a lot in his interviews. But going back to him, his character development, I want to say that the Undertaker character is the greatest character, the greatest piece of work we have seen. And I'm going to say it. I'm going to break the internet with this. In history. I was just gonna leave it to television history, but nah, I think it's history. Because the way he was able to adapt, the way he was able to transform himself for 30 years, what character is gonna do that? What character does that? I'm really trying to think, like, after a while, the Star Wars characters get old. After a while, like Shakespeare knew he had to make a new novel. But the Undertaker character, whether it's the old Western style Undertaker, or whether it's the American Badass, which I guess he's my first Undertaker. Yeah, I'll say it. He's my first Undertaker I've really like followed. I didn't really become a fan until he was like, you know, whenever you're young, you know, you're just a fan of everybody. But I was a fan of him, but I wasn't really a fan until he came back as the Dead Man, or what's I guess for the Undertaker nerds out there, what's called the hybrid Undertaker. But the way he just, and then everything especially as the hybrid Undertaker, everything he said always made sense. My favorite quote, and I'll say it again at the end of the episode, but because I think it's just so powerful. My favorite quote of the Undertaker is during the whole Shawn Michaels and Undertaker WrestleMania 25 build, not the 26, the WrestleMania 25 build. I don't know if he brought this, he made this himself, or who wrote it up for my boy Mark Calloway, but this man literally says, sometimes it is hell trying to get to heaven. Now, when you look at it from the surface, you're like it's just a fire line. Sometimes it's hell trying to get to heaven. I was gonna say it in his voice, but you know, I'm not trying to totally embarrass myself here on this. But when you look at it deeper, it's so applicable to all walks of life. Sometimes it is hell trying to get to heaven. Sometimes you are doing bad, but you think you have a good purpose for it. That's the most fire line. If you guys have ever learned or taken something out of this, any of my episodes, take that one out. Really dig deep on that one. Sometimes it is hell trying to get to heaven. I've seen the five parts of the last ride. He says not to be mistaken with the Last Dance, which was a funny joke. But to see and to hear about the injuries upon injuries upon injuries that this man has had, new hips. It's just amazing. It's just a testament to like how much he loved the business, how much he loved the fans. Because you're doing things for 350 days a year, 340 of those days. You're doing the same thing. It's the same routine. Like it literally is the same routine that you're doing. You do your wrap up. You do all that stuff, and then it's time for you to wrap up. So you just do your four like I forget what the move. I forget what they call it, but your 4 moves. You're like so the Undertaker's moves are really he'll basically go with the running turnbuckle, hitting people with the clothesline or the splash. Hit him with a snake eyes. That's off the turnbuckle. He runs the ropes. Big boot, leg drop, choke slam, tombstone. That's Undertaker's. That's Undertaker's finale. This man was doing that for 340 days out the year. That gets tiring. So, like, if you really don't love your craft or love the reason why you're doing it, like, that's tiring. That's tiring. And then also, I want to talk about this. And then now that I'm getting more accustomed. I'm getting accustomed to the real world, I should say. The real world where, like, people really want to step on your toes to make it big in their life, even though like they try to say that they care about you, but they don't. Sometimes you have to do that. And for the Undertaker, a business as strenuous and as like I keep saying that with the times, right? The WWE has to like do things fast, but even like the product itself. After a while, now I think it's like 2 months. Maybe it was about 9 months for guys back in the day. After the 9 months, you always try to find the next guy, the next moneymaker, the next pay-per-view. Like how much buys am I gonna get on the pay-per-view because this guy is headlining it? So yeah, you gotta think a few toes. But the thing is, and I've tried to look at this so many times. I have never seen anybody say that about the Undertaker. I've never seen that. Only What Culture. They've reached a lot. What Culture Wrestling, they reached a lot on things. But it's just them. But I never, not even, I hear about the CM Punk incident, but that's probably the only incident. And this man's been here 30 years. So to me, if someone asked me, "Hey Gerald, I'm trying to watch WWE. I'm trying to see like who I like could follow or whatnot." Today I wouldn't have no answer for them. But if I say, "Hey, if you want to learn the history of WWE or if you want to like rewatch like old WWE videos or whatnot," which I love doing personally, I'm so disappointed that I had to pay for Peacock when I was paying for WWE Network, and I love the WWE Network. It was so like satisfying. It brings me back to my childhood, and you always need that in life. You always need to go back to your childhood, just feel at peace, you know. But anyways, I will always tell them to go watch Undertaker stuff because the Undertaker is so influential. At first, you might not understand it, but like when you like dig deep on what he's saying, even though it's for that situation, it's applicable to real life. It's applicable to real life. And I want to say this, Mark Calloway, The Undertaker, if you ever see this, I just want to say thank you. You had a big impact on my life. You were very influential on my life, especially I like saying from like 10 to 13 years, 14 probably years. and I appreciate you. You're my guy. I would love to interview Mark Calloway. That I have so many questions for Mark because I know the Undertaker. I need to understand how the Undertaker and Mark Calloway intertwine with each other. That's all the interviews I watch. I just hear them talking about nonsense. Like it's always the same question with the Undertaker. Which, I mean, he's coming back. I mean, he's just out of it. He's in retirement, and like people just want to know the big story. But me, because I'm such a fan, I know what questions to ask him. I know what questions to ask him. So like I said, Mark Calloway, I thank you for your service. Thank you for being a positive role model, even though your character kind of, it is positive, but it could be seen as otherwise. And I appreciate you. Hopefully one day I can interview you. Oh my God, that thing would be so freaking epic. And thank you. Thank you, Undertaker. Thank you, Mark. Anything else I have to say? WrestleMania, 2 nights. I enjoyed last year's WrestleMania. I love, like I said, man, I love wrestling. I will always love wrestling. Wrestling will always have a nice part in my heart. Vince McMahon, to me, is one of the greatest people in the world. Yes, everybody's done terrible things in their life. Yes, he probably has done more terrible things than a lot of people. Regardless, Vince is the GOAT. Vince, instead of his age for being this, even though he's messing up the product, let's put that out there. He's messing up the product himself. Even though he's messing up the product, the fact that he's still in it at his age, almost about to be 80 years old, actually, at his age, with the amount of energy he has, is a testament to him. And I got to applaud him too. But WrestleMania this weekend, if you guys are not doing anything and just like want to laugh, want to just enjoy something for the weekend like that you haven't already, but you know, so some people are still scared of the coronavirus. Some people are still scared of that. So stay home, watch some WWE. It's on Peacock. Let me get the $5,000 check. I'm only asking for $5. I'm only asking for $5K. And enjoy. You have me the matches I'm really hyped for. Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre. I've been a big fan of Bobby Lashley for a while. Drew McIntyre, I'm a big fan of the character that he has right now is perfect. He could lead the WWE. Of course, Roman Reigns, the triple threat match between Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, Edge. I'm very intrigued with that match. Another match I'm kind of intrigued for, just because I don't know. It's funny to me because Apollo Crews, his Nigerian accent thing is just it makes me laugh. So him and Big E are gonna be in a drum fight, a Nigerian drum fight. That's what he's gonna be in. So I want to watch that. I love Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens is gonna be a good match. Asuka versus Rhea Ripley. They messed up Rhea Ripley last year, so let's see if she doesn't lose. I hope she doesn't lose because she shouldn't have lost last year to Charlotte. But it is what it is. I'm not one of the bookers yet. Anything else? Any other matches? Bianca Belair and Sasha. I can get jiggy with that. And I can't think of any other matches. I mean, there's more. Like there's that tag team turmoil match for the Divas. Oh, for the women. My bad. The women. Don't find me, WWE. And then I'm missing other matches. I know I am. So, but those are the matches I'm looking for. My number 1 is a triple threat between Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, Edge. And number 2 would be the WWE title match between Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley. Guys, thank you for listening to me talk about something I care about, the wrestling WWE. The Undertaker, like I said, thank you, Undertaker. Thank you for everything you've done for the business. Thank you for your service for the business, for people like me. We appreciate you. We will always appreciate you. I hope somehow you find out about this video and you take me on my offer and I could get the interview. I could interview you. It'll be the greatest interview you ever had. That's my pitch. I just want to start a conversation. How do you guys feel about the product of WWE? Like I said, I grew out of it. So like I could still watch it, but it's not something I'm gonna be in tune with, you know? How do you guys feel? I'm just trying to start the conversation. Guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. Tell your friends to subscribe to my YouTube. And that's it. Sometimes it is hell trying to get to heaven. Peace out.